social media is everywhere and it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yes.
Regardless if you got an Android, iPhone, desktop, it's making its way even to flip phones. Everybody has some level of social media, you know, from Facebook to Twitter, Threads, X, whatever. And it just so happened, coincidentally, a lot of these people that are on social media are also married. Okay?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Married and trying to stay married, trying to stay happily married. Now, you know, for the people out there, you two have been together you've been married 10 years. How long have you been together?
We've been married actually 11 years. So
11 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we've been together about 14 years. But
Okay.
we've been friends about 16 years.
Look at that.
Yep.
I like it. I like it.
So we know each other a little bit.
A little bit. Now, you know, for a lot of people, you know, before we really go into the meat of this, how did you guys meet? Did you meet via social media or did you know each other organically?
Well, actually, Antonio and I were both cops. So he was my field training officer. Well, he was a substitute trainer for me one
I'm
day.
a fill-in.
Yeah, he was the fill-in. So that's how we met. We met on the job.
Okay. Good. So you met on the job, but then at some point you're connected on Facebook or somebody sent somebody a friend request or...
Funny thing, Antonio
Yeah, this
did
is
not
funny
have
thing.
social media. He was
Nice.
not on Facebook. He was not on Instagram.
I was
he was
scared
not
of
on
it.
no platforms. So when we got together, I introduced him to social media.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying beautiful now, but I really want to, you know, we're going to talk about it. You know, you guys have spoken with couples,
Yes.
you know, over the years, and, you know, you've gone through the gamut of different issues and, you know, all the travails that, you know, many couples face.
Absolutely.
And I'm pretty sure social media has come up once or twice.
Or 5
More.
times.
Or 5 times, right. You know, it's out there. People talk about, you know, they're married, but their spouses on social media and all the, you know, little drama that comes with that. What are, in your opinion, you know, you've heard many people talk about social media. At one point in time, I heard a divorce lawyer say social media is mentioned at 45% of divorce cases.
I could believe
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You know, what are some of the issues that you hear couples talk about as it relates to how social media has affected their marriage?
Well, first of all, if we coach about 4 couples, I would say 3 of them mention something
With
about
social
social media. Whether it's them observing their spouse, liking, clicking, doing things, or they've looked in their partner's DMs. There's always conversation about social media in marriages. So most of our clients, we deal with that. And my thought about it is that once you start having problems on social media, it's just highlighting the problems that are in the marriage. Social media is just showing you the insecurities, showing you the boundaries have been crossed or have not been established. So that's my thoughts about it.
Yeah, and to Margot's point, I think with anything, the lack of boundaries. I think with anything that you do with marriage, if you set healthy boundaries, is anything you can do. And most people that have social media problems, they have a lack of boundary in their marriage problem.
Correct.
And that's the thing that we find common. And to your point as well, it's like 1 out of 5 marriages divorce because of social media. That is 20%. That's high. And social media is here to stay.
Right.
So
Ain't
we
going
got to figure
anywhere.
this
Ain't going
thing
nowhere,
out. We
nowhere
got to figure this
soon.
thing out if we want to stay happily married.
Right.
Right, that's the thing, you know, and I'm glad you purposely happily married.
Oh, yes.
You got a lot of couples out there, they're just existing.
They're
Going through the
just,
motions.
They're going through the motions. They ain't happy.
Right.
Yep.
They're praying for something.
Right.
But that's not what we want. That's not the definition of, you know, the kind of marriage a couple should strive to have.
Absolutely.
Shout out to the people, hope they get there safe. But that's not what we want. And so social media is going to have some level of impact. How does, in your opinion, you know, really, you know, and this is the time to be blunt, honest, don't hold back. How, in the way you look at, how does constant exposure to people's online lives impact perceptions of marriage?
That's a good question.
It does impact people concept of marriage or what they believe marriage should be. And the thing with social media, I talk to people about that a lot. Everything that you see on social media isn't real. Some of the things you see are real, but the majority of the things that you see aren't real and authentic. So that's why it's so important to run your race and be involved and engaged in your marriage and your relationship, because a lot of times you look at other people's stuff, but you have no idea what's really going on behind the scenes. So I think it impacts marriage as a whole lot because it gives people false perceptions of what things should be or what they feel like they should have.
Yeah, and a lot of time when we tell couples, eat the meat, chew up the meat, spit out the bone. That's the thing you have to do, because there's a lot of good come from social media. A lot of
Right.
people, there's a lot of couples and married couples that have business that they run successfully on social media.
Right.
So social media is not the problem. It's the boundaries that you don't set. It's the problem with social media.
And those boundaries are to just be authentic to who you are and understand
Absolutely.
that person, they're putting their content out and you have to put yours out. But I think what happens is it starts when people are insecure in certain spaces, especially in their relationship. It brings up insecurities and it makes you start feeling like, let me now compare. So, oh my God, her husband, they're doing this together. And now, so what me and my husband are doing. And so then you start getting into that mindset and not understanding that your relationship and your marriage is different. So just run your own race with it on social media.
And like you say, just to be totally real, we actually started the Love Rekindle because of the foolishness that we saw on social media, to be
Yes.
totally honest. So again, it's all about setting boundaries and do what works for you. So it's going to be a lot of stuff on social media. You find your tribe on social media, what works for you, have tough conversation with your spouse
Right.
about what you like and what you don't like, and really just meet each other halfway. That's what it's all about. Like anything else you do in your marriage.
And I think ultimately the big thing is couples don't set boundaries when it comes to social media.
You're going to hear us talk about
And I'm not
boundaries.
talking about just setting boundaries with saying who you should be clicking like on, or what comments you should be leaving or not leaving, or what comments is not right. What I'm talking about, the boundaries of at 8 o'clock we put our phones down.
Ooh,
We
nice.
spend time with each other. I think a lot of times social media is a real big distraction in marriages because we spend more time on our phones than engaging each other.
And one thing me and Margot did that works really well, we really like do social media together. I'm not really big on TikTok. Margot is. I lean over to her phone 15, 20 minutes and we spend time together. So the more things you do together as husband and wife, the better your marriage is. Anything you start doing separate, when you get to know private groups and start doing everything separately, you set up problems. Try to do things together. If you do it together, you don't have to worry about the consequences of not doing it together.
Right.